Hello everyone, and welcome back to Drama-O-Rama online. I'm Mrs. Combs, and I'm so excited to be sharing this time with you today. Now remember to have your journals handy, and we have some special guests joining us today, so let's get started. For today's warm-up, we are going to be breathing deeply in different ways. Is everybody ready? For this first breathing exercise, we are going to smell the soup by breathing in and cool the soup by breathing out. So I want you to imagine that you have a bowl of hot soup in front of you, and we're going to do this 3 times. Ready? And very good. That soup, I think, is ready to eat. So for this next breathing warm-up, we are going to be breathing in blue skies and breathing out gray skies. So I want you to use your imagination, and we're going to do this 3 times. Are you ready? Very good. Our next breathing warm-up is called volcano breaths. When we breathe in, we're going to push our arms up like hot lava coming out of the top of a volcano. And when we breathe out, we're going to push our arms down like that hot lava coming down the side of the volcano. And we're also going to do this 3 times. Is everybody ready? And very good. Our last breathing warm-up is called explosion breaths. So we're first going to breathe in, crouching down as low as we can get. And when we breathe out, we'll explode our arms and our legs out to the side. Now we're going to do that 3 times as well. Is everybody ready? And very good. Today we're going to focus on emotion. And emotion is how a character feels in the moment. So we need to understand how we show emotions and how others show emotions so that we can play all kinds of characters in different situations. We're going to be playing our first game, the emotion game, with 2 very special guests. I'd like to introduce our special guests today. We have Evan Combs.
Hi, everyone.
And Aaron Combs.
Hi, everyone.
Are you ready to play the emotion game?
We're ready.
Evan and Aaron are going to act out 4 different emotions. I want you to write down each emotion that you see in your journals. Then it'll be your turn to act out each emotion. Neutral and action. And freeze. So now look at Evan's face, his eyes. They're pointing down. He's kind of has a pout and his shoulders are slumped a little bit. And neutral. Neutral. And action. And freeze. Okay, look at her body position. Her arms are protecting her body. Her face is down, her lips are pointing down, and her eyes are looking down. And neutral. If you said lonely, then yes, you were correct. But if you said something like depressed or sad, those can look very similar to lonely, so you were very close. Now, why don't you give lonely a try? Stand in neutral. And action. Show lonely with your face and with your body. And freeze. Remain frozen in that position. Keep frozen. Keep frozen. And neutral. Nicely done. Neutral. And action. And freeze. Okay, look at his mouth and the look in his eyes, his eyebrows, and the tension in his arms and in his hands. And neutral. Neutral. And action. And freeze. Look at her hands are on her face, her mouth is wide, her eyes are looking up, and her body is very tense. And neutral. If you said horrified, then yes, you were correct. But if you said something like shocked, it could look very similar to horrified, so you were very close. All right, now you give horrified a try. Stand in neutral and action. Show horrified with your face and your body. Keep going and freeze. Freeze horrified in your face and body. Keep frozen. Keep frozen and neutral. Nicely done. Neutral. And action. And freeze. Okay, now look at his face. It's a soft expression. The corners of his lips are going up and his shoulders look really relaxed. And neutral. Neutral. And action. And freeze. Okay, look, her hand looks very relaxed. Her body looks more relaxed. She's looking up and her mouth looks very relaxed. And neutral. If you said relieved, then yes, you were correct. But if you said something like relaxed, something similar to that, then you were very close because those two things can look very, very similar. All right, now you give relieved a try. Stand in neutral and action. Think about that feeling of relief, feeling very relieved right now. And freeze. Freeze that feeling of relief. Freeze that feeling of relief. And neutral. Nicely done. Neutral. And action. And freeze. Okay, look at that. Look at that. His mouth, you can see all of his teeth and the corners of his lips are going way up. His eyes are really squinty and he has a lot of energy in his body. And neutral. Neutral. And action. And freeze. So her lips are pointing up. You can see her teeth. Her eyes are squinted. And her arms look very relaxed. And neutral. So if you said joyful, then yes, you were correct. But if you said something like excited or super happy, it can look very, very similar. So you were super close. So now I want you to give joyful a try. Stand in neutral. And action. Show joyful in your body and your face. Keep going. Keep moving. Keep moving. And freeze. Freeze joyful in your face and in your body. Keep that frozen. Keep it frozen. And neutral. Nicely done. Sometimes we need to remember when we felt lonely or horrified or relieved or joyful to make the acting situation feel more real. Just like sense memory, but with feelings. Now we're going to play a game called Changing Emotion. In Changing Emotion, I will give you an activity to pantomime, and then you get to choose the emotion, something that makes you feel a certain way when you are doing this particular activity. I'm going to be acting this out with you and talking you through it. Then I will, as we're acting it out, change the story, which will then change the emotion, how we feel about this particular activity. All right, it may sound a little tricky, but we're going to be doing these together and it'll become much clearer as we go along. All right, are you ready? So I want you to imagine that you're in math class and it's not started yet. It's just about to start. So you're hanging out, talking to your friends, saying, hey, what are you doing? What you do? What you got for lunch today? Whatever. Feeling pretty good. How do you feel about talking with your friends? Feeling maybe confident, feeling pretty good about that. And then all of a sudden, the teacher announces that there's going to be a pop quiz. Oh no, I don't think I studied for that. What? How could I have? It's a pop quiz. I wonder what it's going to be on. Oh no. I want you to imagine that you're on the playground and you are so upset with the friend. This friend did something to you that made you so very upset. And you're just sitting there and that friend's over there and you're here and so frustrating, so mad. And then you see your friend is coming closer to you. Now whatever, coming closer. And then, oh my gosh. Aw, my friend is apologizing. He's very, very sorry. I feel better now. Okay, I want you to imagine that you're in a basketball game and it's a very important game and you are at the free throw line and the score is tied. And if you make this shot, then you're going to win the game for your team. And if not, you're all going to tie. Nobody's going to lose, but you're going to tie. So you You've got your basketball. Give it a bounce. Another bounce. How are you feeling about this? Bounce it again. Okay, here goes. And oh my gosh, I did it! I did it! Oh! Oh! I got the free throw shot. I won for my team. How was that for everyone? You know, I found it both fun and challenging to show more than one emotion in this scene. It's time for today's journal prompt. Thank you so much for playing emotion games with Evan, Aaron, and me today. See you next time.